Hey everybody, Joe with Bumbling Acres. I hope y'all are doing well. Wanted to everyone who's reached out to us since our announcement last week and a half ago, that Deborah and I are expecting. Thank you so much for your kind words. It is very, very much appreciated. Had a lot on my mind, obviously, as we get ready for this new chapter of our life. But this is kind of a unrelated post yet related. So I think perspective might be one of the most important things for a homesteader. You need to have, you need to mark your journey, which is really just another way of saying perspective. You're not going to get, as a homesteader, you're not going to get to polyface farms overnight, nor should you. Polyface didn't become polyface farms overnight. It's the production of Joel Salatin's father's, his work, his children, the horde of people with which he works with, all with a unique vision and accomplishment. So as a homesteader, you start small and you work incrementally, baby steps at a time. I think that's important if you're going to get into homesteading. You should, if you haven't started doing something, there's something you should do. In my opinion, one of the most beneficial things is journaling. Write about your experiences, write about what you've done. Take notes of what you've done, partly being, everything is a work in progress. Right now, we've got you can see the water tote behind me. That's like water collection 1.0, 2.0 is at the corner where I've daisy chained them together. The next step in them will be actually stacked totes, daisy chained together, so that the water has a pressure, not much, but still, those are all progressive steps. And the way that we keep track of that is by journaling, by putting in, well, this is what I'm doing today, this is what worked well, this is what didn't. If you start trying to make modifications based solely off your own memory, your memory isn't infallible. In fact, memory can be affected by all kinds of things. And the last thing you want to do is learn the same lesson twice, and 3 times, and 4 times. And that's why you should write down what you're doing, successes you've had. This is really important with gardening. When you talk about, my garden over the year, what are we going to plant in the coming years? What are the factors that we've ran into? Last year it was a drought, then it was a flood. It started, actually, I've got that backwards just to see the infallibility of memory. Last summer started with just nothing but tons and tons and tons of dryness, then tons and tons and tons of rain. Really affected a lot of the big farmers in our area, and it affected a lot of us as growing, that we had to, it was tough to get things in the ground. It was just flooding all the time. So, those are little things that you really should, if you're going to get into homesteading, you should do some journaling. And it's not just important as a practical homesteading 101 importance. My wife, going through some of my old books and some of the old stuff that I've kept, because I don't throw out too many things. I've traveled light for most of my life, especially my time in the Marine Corps and my time after. Most of my possessions could fit within 2 or 3 sea bags. And that's just kind of how I was for a long time. But I always held on to certain things. And one of the things my wife found was a journal that I wrote in 2007. 2007 was a very, very tough, hard time. My mother passed away February 10th at 5 minutes to 1 in 2008. So actually in 2 days we are marking 12 years since she passed away. And this is always a rough time of year for me, partly being because of that. But this journal was chronicling some of the darker moments of my life as we were really struggling. She passed away after battling cancer for 5 years. So, this 2007 was a real dark period. She had gotten very, very sick, and I had some really tough emotions to deal with, obviously. And the journal was me chronicling my feelings at the time, my thoughts at the time. And I hadn't read that journal since I wrote it. And I still haven't sat down and read it to its full detail, but I went through and opened up, and I was reading the raw emotions of that moment. And I forgotten how kind of difficult and raw that moment was. And it's the beauty of memory. Memory protects us by by sheltering us from the harshness of things. But I'm really glad I wrote that journal, because it does give me some perspective in things. And as we mark this coming day, where we mark my mom's passing, it's important to remember what it was, what she was. The real bitterness to having me and Deborah being expecting. One of the bitter, sad moments is knowing that my mother will never be able to hold my child. And that's pretty sad, that my mother, who impacted my life so highly, my daughter will not know what it's like to know her, except through me. And that's the blessing of those who are gone. They're always with us. But lesson for me was a reminder of the importance of writing down what you think, writing down what you're doing, writing down how you're feeling, and being honest with yourself. Whether it be being honest with your homesteading plans or being honest with your own emotions and fears and joys and thoughts. So those are my thoughts of today. I hope you all are doing well. This is Joe with Bumbling Acres. I did my oil change today, wrestled with my truck in order to put in my oil change. But we're not doing much on the homestead right now besides planting, waiting for the spring and the warmth to come in so we can hit the ground running. So hope you all are doing well. Once again, thank you so much for everyone who has wished us well and shared their congratulations with us. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to Deborah. And we are so excited, and it is wonderful to have your all's thoughts along our journey. So hope you all are doing well. I hope you have a great day. Joe with Bumbling Acres signing off. Bye.